Welcome to City Beat for the month of June. It's hot out there, but the city of Las Cruces is making sure people and plants stay cool with plenty of water. CLC TV is pleased to welcome our newest addition, Jennifer Martinez. She joins us with how the Las Cruces water reclamation process ensures that water won't run out.
Thanks, Denise. It's an honor to be here with you and on City Beat. As you come to know me, you'll know that I love the water, and that's something that's hard to come by in the desert, especially during the summer months. And that's why it's so important to conserve. The Las Cruces East Mesa Water Reclamation Facility became operational just a few years ago, and already it's proven to help the city preserve its precious resource. Once water leaves your home or business in Las Cruces, it could be directed to the East Mesa, where 250 to 260,000 gallons of wastewater are processed each day.
The first thing that comes to mind is it saves our aquifer water for our community for drinking.
For every bit of water that comes into the treatment plant, it can be returned to the city for irrigation or dust control. Now businesses have an alternative to turning on the tap water for grass and plants. Once the water comes in here, all the junk gets filtered out.
A perfect example of that is kind of like seeing a washing machine to wash clothes. It's a drum like that, and it sends the wastewater through there, sends the water through the holes in the drum, and it collects the waste.
The paper and plastic waste is removed, compacted, and taken to the landfill. But the filtered wastewater heads to a tank where microorganisms eat at the waste. Oxygen is provided to the water through a compressor to keep the microorganisms alive and active.
From there, we send it through a clarifier where it separates the waste from the actual water. The waste settles to the bottom, the water comes to the top, and we're actually able to send it to our final clarifier, where that clarifier will clean up anything that is in the surface.
At this point, any remaining particles of waste get trapped in these filters. No more than 1 to 2 milligrams per liter of solid waste remain. The water continues through an ultraviolet sterilization process. These UV lamps sterilize any remaining bacteria or microorganisms. The reclaimed water could be pumped into an arroyo like this, but why waste this water? It could be used by other businesses for irrigation in the city of Las Cruces.
During the summer months, like in June, we'll probably put out about 1.1 to 1.2 million gallons a night.
Mike Kirkpatrick, the superintendent at Sonoma Ranch Golf Course, says the course uses plenty of the city's reclaimed water from the East Mesa. Last year, it was the only water they used to irrigate.
Well, last year I used no potable water at all. That was the first time ever at Sonoma Ranch we used no potable water.
As mentioned earlier, the facility is treating 250,000 gallons a day, but its potential is 1 million gallons, and that will come in handy within the upcoming weeks.
Well, we use the majority of it. I believe that they do, they have a couple of medians that they water with, and I believe that they do the Memorial Park over here. I believe they water with the tertiary water there, and I believe the new Centennial High School is going to receive or is receiving some of that water right now also.
Well, but you got to realize that they might not have a lawn, but they've got a soccer field, they got a football field, they got a baseball field, they got a softball field, and so all of those are going to require water.
I mean, it is a good cost. It's a heck of a lot cheaper than potable water, and it's a lot better for everybody concerned.
The reclaimed water is sold to businesses at about half the cost as tap water, giving some businesses a cost savings and saving the city's drinkable water for its residents.
As the sun set in May, Las Cruces gathered at Young Park to cool off and relax with a family-friendly movie. Media production specialist Dominic Aragon spent the evening with several families to show you how they had a low-cost evening out full of entertainment.
The city of Las Cruces has started a new event during the spring. The event is called Movies in the Park. Phil Katnack is one of the individuals in charge of putting these events together at parks all over the city.
Tonight's our kickoff event for the Spring Movies in the Park series. Second go around this year. We got new equipment, kid-friendly movies. Tonight's Wreck-It Ralph. 4 Saturdays in May, just kid movies. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Fun is exactly what it was. Families from all over the city came together to enjoy the atmosphere of the park. Parents were able to stretch out on their blankets and relax in their chairs with plenty of legroom. Their kids were able to run around, free to play, laugh, and not worry about the rules of a normal theater.
We wanted to bring more family and community events to the city and do them free of charge. So we want to do stuff that families can afford to come out. May's a beautiful time of year. We want to do something that the community will enjoy. Nowadays, if you take a family of 5 to the movies, that's a good $40 for tickets. If you want popcorn and a drink, you're looking at a $7 night. Come out here, it's free. You bring your own picnic, lay down a blanket, bring your chairs.
Well, we get to just enjoy a movie for free with our family instead of hanging out at the house doing nothing. Like the screen, for example, at the park that it's at, because we get to play with the animals and everything.
Good fun thing to do, free with the family, kind of a relaxed thing, especially with the kids. You can go to a movie without worrying about the kids interrupting it for everybody else.
The family atmosphere was great, the evening was a hit, and the movie was very enjoyable. Look for the next wave of movies in the park to come this fall, in September and October.
Thank you, Dominic. Like all of us, the city of Las Cruces is constantly trying to save on energy. That's why a new wind turbine is up and spinning at the Las Cruces Museum of Nature and Science. The turbine joins 2 smaller ones that currently operate the lights in the parking area. The museum will also have solar panels that will help make the building more energy efficient. Museum staff says the energy-saving additions will eventually be linked to a display for museum visitors to see how much energy is used and how the panels and turbines contribute to energy savings. The Animal Service Center of the Mesa Valley partnered last month with the J. Paul Taylor Academy for a pet microchipping event. The center reminds you that microchipping can identify your pet if it is ever lost or stolen. You can get your pet microchipped 7 days a week at the center. For more information on this service and others, please call 382-0018 from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. And new here to City Beat is a segment we call City Jobs. It's a look into the day-to-day operations of city employees. This month, we step into the kitchen at one community center and learn how seniors are kept nourished with the Meals on Wheels program.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Martinez, and in this episode of City Jobs, we are at the Eastside Community Center with the City of Las Cruces, where we're going to be working with the Meals on Wheels program. We're going to meet with the kitchen staff, the people who make the food, the people who package the food, and the people who deliver the food for the Meals on Wheels program. I started the day helping Dolores and Ruben, the cooks here at the Eastside Center. It's prep time, and bread rolls are on the menu. So what's the first thing I do?
Get some oil.
Okay, I'm already starting off wrong here.
Yeah.
A little bit of oil. It's good for the skin, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just pinch a little ball. We have to cook them and pack them and have them ready by the time the drivers leave.
Why do I feel that for every one that I do, you have 5 done already?
Oh, it's your first time.
Dolores, can you tell me how many rolls are we making for lunch today, and how many do you usually prepare when you do rolls on the menu?
It depends on what we're having today. How many people? Today we're having the homebound, which is 185, and then in the building here we have 79.
We're talking with Ruben Garcia about the next step, which we're looking at peas.
Where this is a vegetable for today, which usually 12 come in a case, where we usually do like 18. So we're gonna do these, and then I'm gonna get some more out of the. So what you can do is just open them, and then we put like four bags to a pan.
Okay, so I can just dump that in there? All right. And what do we do with these after we dump them into these pans?
We're gonna put water, and then we'll put them to cook.
What kind of service do you feel you're providing to the community?
Well, for the people, like for homebound, for the people that can't get around, that they need a meal, you know, We're helping them out with a lunch, a hot lunch and a cold breakfast.
Once the food was set to cook, I moved on to the next room. All the meals need to be packaged for delivery, breakfast included. We're now in the breakfast packing room where it looks like we have a lot of brown bags. I think these are going out with the drivers later today. We're going to be talking with Warren Fraze, and you've been here for 3 years. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, first thing in the morning, I make the breakfast to go out on the routes for today.
And these are something that don't have to be eaten right away, correct?
Right.
This is something they're going to use for tomorrow?
This will be for tomorrow, yes. We take out a breakfast for tomorrow, then the lunch for today.
All right, so what is the first thing that you do?
Well, we just open up the paper bag, and then they get a juice, and then they get a peanut butter for the protein, and then sweet and low and regular sugar, a cereal, and some type of a bread product. Today it's a mini muffin.
Okay. So basically what you do is you package all of this, and then do you turn around and go deliver all these?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, my share, my route is 45, so.
You're delivering 45 meals every day.
Yeah, so each driver, there's 8 routes. So everything is divided up into amongst the 8 drivers.
It's a team effort to get all of these meals cooked, packed, and ready for delivery right on time. After all the food is packaged and loaded into the delivery vehicles, we set off to get these delicious meals to their destinations. So first, let me ask you, how long have you been doing this, and what do you get out of it?
Well, I've been doing this for about 1.5 years now, and I enjoy serving our community, and it's a customer service for the elderly and trying to help them to have a hot meal which they couldn't not provide for themselves, and I enjoy helping people.
This is obviously their link to somebody from the outside, because a lot of times they don't get to get out very much, right?
That's true. Many of them are shut-ins where they can't get out too often, and I have some clients that actually wait for me by the door, and they just love me. I'm a part of their family almost, and they're so appreciative of the fact that the city would take the time to prepare a meal for them and bring it to them at the same time, and even place it right where they want to eat. So it's kind of it's a nice service. And this little guy will not bite you. He's a friendly little guy.
Do you have sometimes animals on your route that you're just not sure of?
No, I know them all pretty well now, and they're very friendly, and it's never a problem.
Ben. Ben Porter all my life.
How long have you been receiving Meals on Wheels services?
Let's see, 4 months, I think.
4 to 6 months.
I get up and go, got up and went. I've had multiple sclerosis since I was 32 years old, and I'm 80 in November.
What do you think about Raymond?
Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give him a job cooking for me.
He's a good guy. I enjoy delivering for him.
All the hard work that goes into Meals on Wheels means a great deal to the individuals who participate in this program. As you can see, it's lunchtime here at the Eastside Community Center on Tornillo, where we've served about 278 people today. That's about 70 here in the cafeteria and 200 that are homebound. If you'd like to learn more about a city job, just contact us at clctv.com.
During this past legislative session, state lawmakers took action that will cost Las Cruces and other municipalities in New Mexico millions of dollars in lost revenue. To find out more about the implications of this action, let's go to CLC TV's Udell Vigil, who joins us with this month's episode of Ask the. He sat down with City Manager Robert Garza.
Thank you, Denise. The action the legislature took is the elimination of the Hold Harmless payment. Here to explain the financial impacts of that lost revenue and possible remedies is Las Cruces City Manager Robert Garza. Mr. Garza, thank you for joining us. If you would, please tell us what Hold Harmless means.
Okay. Hold Harmless is, well, let me do it this way. Hold Harmless came about from legislative actions in 2004. In 2004, our economy was strong, statewide, citywide, and our state legislators decided that helping the community would be a good idea. And to do that, they said, we're not going to put tax on food and medicine so that those who need the help the most will get the biggest benefit. Well, cities rely on gross receipts tax to run our cities, to pay for the services we provide. And so 104 cities in the state of New Mexico charged the Capitol Hill in Santa Fe and said, wait a minute, you're giving away our revenues. And so the state of New Mexico in 2004 also passed a law that said, we'll hold you harmless from the effects of our decision. Their decision was, we're not going to tax food and medicine, but they're holding us harmless by paying us what we would have received otherwise. So that's what Hold Harmless is in general. What it means to the city is about $8.7 million a year, every year, and growing. The more our city grows, the more that loss will grow.
Okay, so the legislature this past session said, okay, we're going to do away with Hold Harmless. We're taking it away. When is that going to take effect, and over what period of time is it going to be phased out?
Okay, the 2013 legislative session included a bill. It's called the Jobs Bill, or some of us refer to it as a tax bill, but it included many things that deal with taxes in New Mexico, lowered the corporate tax rates, provided inducements for economic development. In that same bill is when they said, we're going to repeal the Hold Harmless provision. We're going to take away that guarantee that you've always had. And we're going to do so carefully and slowly, is what the bill said. We're not going to put it in place for 2 years, so fiscal year 15-16 is when it would go into effect, and then it would be phased in over 15 years after that. So the full effect we would feel 17 years from now, not all at once. But an important distinction to know and to think about is, while in today's dollars we would lose $8.7 million, we've projected at the end of that period of time the magnitude of Hold Harmless would be as high as $19.6 million. Really what it equates to is about 11% of our budget.
So when the legislature, when they decided to do away with Hold Harmless, they also allowed enabling legislation for local communities to kind of make up that revenue. What are the options available to us?
Well, there's distinctions depending upon how big your city is, and there's different provisions for cities and counties. Where the city of Las Cruces fits into this is we're one of 21 cities out of 105 statewide that are considered full service communities. We provide the full spectrum of services. For us, they've put in place the ability for our city council by ordinance to consider implementing gross receipts tax increases to offset the losses that we were going to be facing from the Hold Harmless. And they can do that in 1/8 increments. So they could do 1/8, 2/8, or 3/8. They can do that at any point in time, and they only do it by ordinance. There's no referendum, there's no public vote, and they could, if they chose to, earmark those funds for very specific things, or they could keep it general.
Now, you said we're going to be losing X amount of dollars over this next 15-year period. If we do enact the GRT and we do the full amount, the full 3/8, will that keep up with the loss of revenue? In other words, are they going to offset each other in the end?
The 3/8 GRT, if put in place in totality, would not be equivalent to the Hold Harmless distributions that we are going to be losing. And I think that there's more to be said about that. Not only numerically will it does not equate to the same amount, but as time goes on, in our community particularly, because of our demographics, our age distribution, our retirees who live here, and the economy in general. I mean, we're one of the poorest counties in the state and one of the poorest states in the country. And our citizenry, when they have less money to spend, they spend their money on critical purchases. And what are those critical purchases for most households? Food and medicine.
That aren't taxed.
That aren't, and we don't get taxed on any of that. And it's going to be a larger and larger share of disposable incomes, in my opinion.
So if the City Council decided to enact this 3/8 GRT, and by the way, that's just a little under 38 cents for every $100.
Correct.
Is there a time frame in which they have to do that?
Actually, the City Council will have the option to consider implementing the gross receipts tax increases in 1/8 increments. They can do it all after July 1st, or they could do it incrementally over time. Based on our projections, what we're going to be recommending to our city council is deal with it sooner than later, decide what we're going to do, but we can't expect them to make that decision without a lot of information. So we're compiling reports, we're quantifying projected losses, we're compiling projected increases, and we're also trying to paint the picture very clearly as to what, if we don't put these new gross receipts taxes in place, what are the impacts to our operations? And through our budget process, we've done exercises to identify areas where programs would have to be reduced in order to keep our city running. We don't have 11% elasticity in our budget.
And as you said, the phase-out begins 2 years from now, but they could implement this tax now, would actually be beneficial because it would give us a head start, be more proactive rather than reactive when the phase-out begins.
Correct. And you know, doing this change sooner than later will have more of an effect because the top 21 cities in the state, those over 45,000 population, will be able to continue to receive hold harmless distributions from the state over this phase-out period. So simply said, we're going to get money from the hold harmless. We would also get the revenues from the tax increase, and together those are going to keep our head above water for at least 15 to 20 years.
All right. Well, Mr. Garza, thank you so much for explaining that.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Udell. Now it's time for our City Minute. Las Cruces outdoor pools are once again open to the public. Get ready to cool off in the summer sun. Lobs and the East Mesa Baton Memorial pools are open from noon to 6:30 each day. For more information, call 541-2554. And here's just a reminder for anyone looking to register their child for fall sports. Co-Rec Tykes and Spikes flag football registration is still going on at Mearshite Recreation Center through Saturday, July 20th. You can sign up your pre-K through second grade child at 1600 East Hadley. The fee is $40 per player and games begin the week of August 19th. For more information on that, call 541-2563. Thomas Brannigan Memorial Library continues the summer reading program for children, teens, and adults. Registration has begun for all age groups, and the program runs through mid-July. Anyone interested in the program can visit library.las-cruces.org. And the votes are finally in. We're talking about the Student Video Public Service Announcement Contest. This year's winner is Redo by Olivia Nunez and Destiny Vielma. The winning video was chosen from your votes on clctv.com. For winning, they will both get their very own iPod. Congratulations to Olivia and Destiny and all of the students who were chosen as gold and silver finalists. That's all for this episode of City Beat. Tune into CLC TV for your latest city news and information. City Council meetings can be viewed live every Monday at 1 p.m. as well as archived video on clctv.com. And don't forget to like us on our City of Las Cruces Facebook page. I'm Denise LaFrance.